Will Carrie Underwood, who replaced Katy Perry on American Idol, return for the upcoming season? Some people are still finding it difficult to accept her, and she seems to be up and down with the show. How likely is it that she will be seated in the middle chair once more? To learn more about what's happening, continue reading. Many were fighting for Katy Perry's place on American Idol after she announced at the end of the previous season that she was departing. Miley Cyrus, Meghan Trainor, and Jelly Roll were among the names that swirled around because they wanted to take on the job of becoming a judge. In the end, Season 4 champion Carrie Underwood was hired, despite the fact that other show alumni were eager to get straight in. She was aware of what it was like to participate, receive criticism from judges, and reach the finals, so it felt like the ideal decision. Regretfully, it has not been as simple as she may have imagined. Being away from home is difficult, and she has been clearly upset when America sends home her top selections. She is a shining light on the show, nevertheless, according to some spectators. And source claims that everything is now up in the air with regard to Carrie's role in the reality series. When it came to selecting judges, she was allegedly not at the top of the list. They spoke with a handful of other A-list artists in pop and country before landing on Carrie. To make matters worse, it was rumored that not everyone at the network desired Carrie. Nevertheless, she was chosen, and Katy Perry is rumored to have no intention of going back. Although she has closed the chapter, she is pleased with the exhibition. What can we expect from the upcoming season? They'll have more of an idea in the next month or so. Suggests that American Idol will start making significant choices about the show's future throughout the course of the upcoming month. There is nothing off the table. When filming started, everyone assumed Carrie would return the next year. It's considerably more uncertain now. Her idol's future is far less secure today than it was, and I believe that both parties share this sentiment. The judges for American Idol's upcoming season, particularly Carrie Underwood, is still up in the air. Fans have, nevertheless, expressed the desires. Once more, opinions have been sharply divided, with some admirers praising Carrie and her enthusiasm while others would not give a damn if she returned. It's fun to watch you. Well written and enjoyable. You are giving American Idol everything it didn't have. Carrie, you're doing fantastic. Please return. Katy is missed. It appears that this woman is constantly bored. Would Carrie Underwood accept an invitation to return? That is also unknown since she loves her family and her singing profession, and she has a lot on her plate. Whether the judges are required after America starts voting has also been questioned. Perhaps the judges will be retained by Idol for a short time before being released. The last power ballad has faded into the night, the last confetti has fallen, and the winner of another season of American Idol has been announced. Yet as the credits roll and the judges say their final, sincere goodbyes, a persistent hum of conjecture rises, a whisper that reverberates throughout the entertainment industry. Will Carrie Underwood, the Golden Girl, the undeniable queen of Idol success stories, ever return to that sacred stage, not as a guest performer, but in a more permanent role? The question is more about a possible radical change in the dynamic of the show than it is about a brief appearance. Idol has served as a platform and a testing ground for undeveloped potential for many years. It has also turned into a rotating panel of judges, each contributing a distinct taste that occasionally clashes and occasionally harmonizes. The current panel, which consists of Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan, has settled into a rhythm that combines pop theatrics, country charm, and legendary wisdom. A persistent undertone within the fan base, however, is the need for a little Idol royalty, someone who has lived the life rather than merely spoke it. And Carrie Underwood is the most prominent name when discussing Idol royalty. Her rise from modest origins in Chicota, Oklahoma, to the worldwide fame she currently enjoys is legendary. The quiet, kind country girl who developed into a formidable vocalist, her stage appearance a mesmerizing combination of vulnerability and strength, and her voice a weapon of emotional impact. Not only did she win American Idol, but she became the show. Her achievement is a story that is woven into the very fabric of the show's heritage, not just a number. She is the living example of the Idol ideal and the standard by which all future winners are evaluated. Will she be back? Is hardly the only question, then. The question, could she be back, and what would that mean? For many supporters, the reasons for her comeback are strong and even tempting. Just think of the dignity she would bring to the panel of judges. Carrie's whole career is a direct result of the idol machine, in contrast to judges who have found success in other genres or historical periods. She is aware of the stress, vulnerability, utter fear, and thrilling excitement that come with taking the stage in front of the country and giving your all. She is aware of what it takes to succeed in the competitive music industry and maintain a career. She wouldn't only provide technical advice or general words of support. It would be deeply rooted in first-hand knowledge of what functions well and what doesn't in the actual music industry. She could provide priceless advice on how to handle the post-idol world, the difficulties of celebrity, the pressures of touring, and the difficulties of creating and recording songs. Her remarks would be a guide from hopeful competitor to enduring fame, bearing the weight of lived reality for budding artists. Her presence will also surely result in a huge increase in viewership. A true celebrity, Carrie Underwood has a devoted and ardent following that crosses decades. Her comeback would be a big deal, a sentimental welcome that would entice viewers who might have lost interest in the program to return. It would be an effective marketing strategy, a bold move that would create excitement and attention. It's financially advantageous for both the production and the network. In her own right, Carrie Underwood is a brand. Her connection to the program would increase its stature and maybe draw in new sponsors. The Carrie Underwood effect has the potential to significantly increase the show's total profitability and viewership. But there are some serious challenges along the way to a Carrie Underwood comeback that should be carefully considered. Her extremely busy schedule is the most visible. Carrie Underwood is a worldwide sensation in addition to being a singer. She manages her several business endeavors, such as her fitness brand, CALIA, tours frequently, records new songs, and raises her 2 young boys. Given her hectic schedule, committing to a full season of American Idol, which entails weeks of live performances, travel, and promotional tasks, would be an enormous endeavor. One of the biggest obstacles is the time commitment alone. It's not a part-time job to judge Idol. It calls for a great deal of commitment, hard hours, and the readiness to spend a lot of time away from home. Finding the time in her schedule for such an endeavor would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, for someone with Carrie's degree of personal and professional responsibilities. Then there is the matter of why she did it. Why would Carrie Underwood, who has already reached the height of her fame, want to go back to the program that started her career? Does the status of being a judge suffice? Is the want to support the upcoming generation of artists compelling enough? She has always been appreciative of the chance Idol gave her, but her priorities have always been her family and her own artistic pursuits. Even if it has the potential to be very profitable, someone who is already really successful and affluent may not be motivated primarily by the financial side. Being a really good judge requires a great amount of intellectual and emotional involvement, which is distinct from the challenges she experiences in her current position. Additionally, it could seem like a step backward. While serving as an Idol judge is a prestigious position, for a performer of Carrie's quality, it may be seen as a step into a new stage of her career and the end of her performing days. The entertainment business is influenced by optics, even if this is probably an unjust conclusion. It's also important to take into account the dynamics of the judgment panel itself. Would she be able to blend in with the existing lineup? The vibe would definitely change with her appearance. Although she is renowned for her warmth and expertise, the success of the program depends on the judges' connection. The panel might be improved or unbalanced by adding a new, and possibly more influential, personality. Would there be a slight change in the balance of power, or would the present judges embrace her? In addition, the judging function itself is not what she is accustomed to. She is in charge of her story and her artistic vision as a performer. She would be evaluating and advising people in her capacity as a judge, which calls for a certain level of emotional intelligence and public image. Although she has previously served as a mentor and guest judge on Idol, a full-time commitment is a very different animal. Let's examine the subtleties and possibilities as we go deeper into the possible effects of her return. How would the focus of the program alter if she were to join the panel? Given her dominance in the genre, would country music receive more attention? Would a new type of contestant, artists hoping to emulate her, be drawn in by her presence. Given her deep knowledge of industry standards, her criticism would probably be more exacting but also enlightening and helpful. She is aware of what it takes to sell albums, dominate a stage, and engage a large audience. Her expectations would probably be high, encouraging competitors to perform to the best of their abilities. Consider the mentorship meetings. Contestants might get assistance from someone who has experienced every facet of the post-idol journey rather than general counsel. She might provide helpful advice on maintaining voice health, performing well on stage, handling media attention, and establishing a long-term career. The participants' professional paths might be significantly impacted by this kind of mentorship, which would be priceless. But there would also be a great deal of pressure on the competitors. It would be both uplifting and horrifying to be assessed by the one person who personifies the idol dream. Her illustrious accomplishment would be used to evaluate every note and every performance. Given her schedule and degree of popularity, the production itself would probably need to change. Her visits would be huge broadcast events, security would be increased, and her dressing area would probably be a haven of peace amid the pandemonium backstage. The storyline of the show would change. Finding the next great star would no longer be the only goal. The Queen's comeback, Idol's lasting legacy, and the platform's power would all be celebrated. Beyond the practical difficulties, however, what are the possible drawbacks? Would she overshadow the competitors? Could the returning celebrity become the center of attention instead of the up-and-coming artists? Although her celebrity will surely attract viewers, the candidates' journeys are the main focus of the show. Making ensuring her presence adds to, rather than takes away from, their tales would be vital. Additionally, there's a chance that expectations could be excessively high. Fans would expect her to have a certain amount of charisma, understanding, and connection. It could be disappointing if she fails to meet their expectations. Even though she is a born performer, being a judge demands a distinct set of abilities, including the ability to think quickly, communicate clearly, and be prepared to show vulnerability on television. The incumbent judges are also called into doubt by the prospect of her reappearance. Would she require the departure of one of them? If so, who would it be, and what effect would it have on the chemistry of the show? It might be dangerous to break the rapport that the existing panel has built. It is ultimately up to Carrie Underwood to decide whether or not to return to American Idol. Her desire to give back, her personal and professional responsibilities, and the practicality of such a commitment all play a part in this complicated equation. Naturally, the program would probably be quite happy to have her return. It is impossible to dispute her star power, commercial potential, and nostalgic appeal. She is fully in control of the situation. Will Carrie Underwood return to the American Idol judging panel for the upcoming season? There is still speculation surrounding the solution. Her personal life comes first, her work is at its height, and there are substantial logistical challenges. The desire to tutor the next generation, the emotional draw of the program that introduced her, and the sheer effect of her presence, however, are all strong pressures. It might not need a full-time commitment. Perhaps a regular mentorship position, a special guest judge for important episodes, or even a series of masterclasses just for the competitors. She can participate in these options without having to deal with the demanding requirements of a full-time judging job. There is little doubt that as long as American Idol and Carrie Underwood are broadcast, the topic will be discussed. She is a live example of its strength and an integral part of its past. Her legacy on the program is certain, regardless of whether she judges again or just continues to inspire from a distance. The audience will be watching, hoping, and wondering as the lights come up on a new season. Is the Golden Girl going to go back to her roots? Will the Queen regain her position as a mentor, advisor, and living legend who imparts her knowledge to those who dare to pursue the American Idol dream, rather than as a contestant? For the time being, the solution is still a riddle that beckons, a tune that clings to the atmosphere, begging to be sung. The world is waiting to see if Carrie Underwood will answer the call of the program that started it all, and the scene is set. The conjecture will surely go on until the last note of the upcoming season's debut confirms or rejects the return of the current American Idol queen, but the idea is thrilling and the potential is enormous.